The year is 1691 in Boston, Massachusetts. The Warlock is imprisoned in a tower, with his thumbs and toes all shackled together. He is sentenced to death, and his execution is scheduled to take place the next day. Just in the nick of time, Satan helps him to escape from his captivity right under the nose of Redfern, the executioner. He goes to check up on the Warlock, only to find him vanishing into thin air. He is then translocated to the 20th century in Los Angeles, California. Now, in the present late 20th century, we see the city is experiencing violent weather with tornadoes. Later, the peace of night is broken by the sound of shattering glasses. The two housemates, Cassandra and Chas, are awakened by the turmoil. They are out of their room to check on the source of the noise. Next, they find an unconscious man in their living room, with shattered pieces of glass all over the floor. Due to the extreme weather, they could not call the cops, so they decide to let the man rest for the night. Like every morning, before heading out of the house, she is injecting insulin into herself. The unconscious man from a day before is awake now and is in good health. As he sees the newspaper with the date, he asks her if it's really 1988 now. He suddenly finds himself 3 centuries ahead in the future. He is the Warlock from the 17th century. While Chas is preparing breakfast in the kitchen, he kills Chas and takes his ring. Later, the cops ask Cassandra about him and inform him about his death. The Warlock comes to visit a psychic who claims to connect herself with the unseen. He asks her to channel the spirit of Zamiel for him, who was like a father figure to him. While faking being possessed by the spirit, she actually gets possessed by Satan. He asks why he was sent to this place. Satan asks him to bring him all 3 separated parts of the Grand Grimoire. It's the Bible of black magic that can undo the creation itself. He then inquires about the reward for the work done. The reward he will receive is that he shall be the begotten son. He then digs out the eyes of the psychic and uses them as a guide to search the parts of the grimoire. Cassandra comes home and starts packing her luggage, but she doesn't realize someone is hiding inside her house until Redfern appears in front of her. He asks her if the guy who has appeared a day before had any cuts or if he bled. She pours the content of the vacuum cleaner into the floor. He collects the dried blood from a piece of shattered glass into a small bottle and dilutes it with water. Next, he uses a witch compass to find the direction of the Warlock. But before the compass starts to operate, cops arrive and take him with them. After he was taken by the cop, Cassandra notices the compass moving. Following the direction pointed by the compass, she sees the Warlock at the gate. The eyes of Satan have guided him to the house. Redfern enters the house and stops her from escaping. She then locks herself in the bathroom. The eyes lead him to a table, which he destroys and finds the pages of the grimoire. He chants some spell over her, and the next morning, she finds herself twice as old as she was the day before. In the afternoon, she bails Redfern out of the jail. She asks him to help her get back to her youth. He tells her that it's an aging spell, and the only way to break that spell is to retrieve back her charm bracelet that was used for putting the spell on her. Then she makes it clear to him that she will be joining hands with him until she gets back her bracelet. After that, he's on his own. On the way, he's salting the leather, revealing that witches dislike salt. They hear the commotion near the gas station about a boy getting killed by a coyote. According to the gas station staff, the boy was nearly chewed up and was skinned. It's revealed that the witches get their power from human fat. On top of that, the fat from the unbaptized male child is used to make the flying potion. He speculates that the boy must have been killed for the same purpose, and now the speed of the Warlock must have increased incredibly. While having a conversation, Marion's name is mentioned by Redfern, and upon further inquiring by Cassandra, he gets agitated. Marion was his beloved wife in the past. While he's setting up his compass, she is suddenly aged even more. In the village of Colorado, the Warlock gets his hand on another part of the Grand Grimoire. He experiences growth in his power. On the way, he notices a red house with a hex mark. Furthermore, the moving compass needle is pointing in the direction of the same house, so he hastens towards the house. There, they meet people from the Mennonite community. Redfern makes both of them hold the pennies with their lips to ward off any evil energy and warns them not to look into the Warlock's eye. Looking at the open attic window, he figures out that the Warlock has indeed been to this place. He then searches among the broken pieces of furniture and finds a single page of the Grand Grimoire. Finally, he realizes that he must be after that indestructible Grand Grimoire, but it was supposed to be kept on the sacred ground. He could not have just left like that. leaving behind the page from such an important book. So as he was searching for the Warlock, he appears in front of him. Redfern then stabs him in the stomach. However, below the clothing layer are the 2 parts of the Black Bible protecting him from the injuries. With increased power from the assimilated parts, the Warlock sends him flying down through the attic window. Redfern, along with his other 2 companions, almost succeeds in capturing him. But unfortunately, the older man made eye contact with him and starts bleeding through his eyes. The Warlock flees from the scene, and Cassandra is ordered to chase after him. Before sending her, he gives her his blessed hammer and tells her to hammer nails into the Warlock's footprints on the ground. She finds his track and hammers nails into his footprints, causing him to shriek in great pain. She manages to get back her bracelet and return to her youthful self, and he escapes through the train. After treating the man, Redfern is determined to find the Warlock by any means necessary. However, handing him her card, she reminds him about their deal of cooperating until she gets her youth back. He pursues her to join him by explaining the consequences of an assemblage of all 3 parts of that book that may lead to the destruction of the whole universe. Finally, following the idea of Cassandra, they decide to go to the church in Boston and find the last part of the book. In the airport, she did see the Warlock, but didn't inform Redfern about it. Then, they get on the plane to Boston, but his instinct tells him that the Warlock is in the plane among them, so they search for him silently. Little did they know that the Warlock was hiding in the baggage compartment inside the plane. They head straight towards the Boston church, meet the priest, and ask for the records about the Black Bible. After being reluctant in sharing the record details, the priest finally gives off the information about the last part being in the burial ground. Redfern leads the way to the graveyard. Meanwhile, the Warlock makes an unexpected visit to the priest's house, where he's with his pregnant wife. He threatens to harm the unborn babies if he does not spill the secrets of the pages and places. In the next scene, they arrive at the graveyard, and the first thing they do is consecrate the ground. It's believed that no witch can set their foot on consecrated land. The next task to be done is to search the tomb with the hex mark. Cassandra finds the tomb that fits the description, but it turns out to be Redfern's tomb. On their way out of the graveyard, she notices some of the missing coffins. Looking at the project notice, she realizes that due to condominium construction, many coffins have been moved to the other side, which is not consecrated. They are now forced to open up the casket and look at what's inside of it. Cassandra opens the casket and finds the last part of the Grand Grimoire being held by the corpse of Redfern. As they are about to secure the pages into the hollowed ground, the Warlock makes his grand entrance by flight. He then starts attacking them. Redfern gives her the fake papers and holds on to the real ones. To divert their enemy's attention, they both run in opposite directions, but the Warlock emerges in front of her and catches and tortures her for tricking him. He compares her with the dead Marion, which infuriates Redfern. Unable to see her suffering, he comes forward and puts the pages down on the ground. He provokes him to take the pages without using his magic or flight. The Warlock gains the upper hand in the fight, and the other party throws dirt in his face, violating the rule. As the rule is broken, he also uses his magic to burn his opponent's mouth while his face is being slammed into the consecrated ground. While he grabs the paper, she sneakily attacks him with the salted leather rope. He throws her into the lake. After using the magic to combine the 3 parts of the grimoire, he's in the middle of the ceremonial procession when Cassandra injects him in the neck with salt water from the lake. His veins swell up and burst into flames, burning his entire body. Redfern is in debt to Cassandra for her help and bids her goodbye. He vanishes in the form of a tornado, and all that is left is the Grand Grimoire to be taken care of. Cassandra buries the book in the Bonneville Salt Flats, the world's largest salt deposit, where no evil witches will come near the book. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like and turn on the notifications, as it helps the channel out. If you fancy more recaps, check out this video now.